Amy Hoosier Diver. Hey dear, how you doing? I'm starting kind of late. I had it, something was screwed up and I couldn't get on, but I got it fixed. So how you doing from the Hoosier State? I'm assuming that's the state you're from. I've had a good, uh, I've had a, okay. Hey Barbara and Lisa. Hey Lisa. Hey Claire Joy. Uh, my had some good parts of the week and had some not so good parts of the week. Technology is great when it works. Yeah, you're right. I don't know what happened. The first one I put up, it nobody was coming on. I was on there for almost 10 minutes. Oh, yep, the Hoosier Straight. um, there was a kitchen cabinet thing that had a flour sifter in it and all that, and people called them Hoosier cabinets. And I guess because I was made in the Hoosier State, I don't know. But my mother-in-law gave us hers. I never did get up there and get it, and somebody finally come up there and got it. I don't know who got it, but it wasn't me. Um, I got right here it is. Let me show you what Ricky Lance sent me. He always surprises, every time he sends me something, I never know what it is till it gets here, and it's an apron. Well, I thought I could show it, but here's, maybe you can see it. It's a black apron. And I'll use that sucker. I'll use it. His daughter must make these things. She makes, because she sent me a T-shirt. Hey, Marty, how you doing, sir? Uh, yeah, Ricky sent me that. I hadn't heard from him in a while, but he's the one that sent me. Let me see, where is it? Well, shoot, I thought it was in that drawer. Yeah, here it is. He's the one that sent me this. Remember when I got that? How you doing? But yeah, he sent me that. Been a while back. I'm afraid to put it on my desk, and my cat sometimes gets up here and knocks things off. Um, yeah, that's what they called them, Hoosier cabinets. They had a metal top and then a cabinet, and had some drawers underneath, put your pots and pans in, had a little cabinet door up above there that you opened up, and it had a flour bin in it and a sifter on it. You put your stuff right under that and sift your flour. But yeah, I love the apron. Um, I got somebody, I don't know. I I talked about something in this last video. Did it go up? This must have went up. was it this morning? It was this morning when I got an email from this person. I won't call her name. Well, I wasn't even going to tell you what sex she is, but I already said her, so. But, hey, Rianne, how you doing, dear? You know what, girl? I don't hardly ever see your face when your mom and Marty has their live streams and stuff. I hear you. Never once in a while I'll see your hand handing them something. I never see your face. But I talked about there was a short period of time between the time that I was discharged from the Army. I didn't re-enlist because I didn't want to go to Vietnam. And, but it was right after I got out, and I found out that somebody absconded with I had savings bonds going to my house in Florida the whole time I was in the Army. They held out $37.50, and it matures in 7 years, and that turns into $75. So it actually doubled what I paid for it, but somebody absconded with that. I ain't gonna talk about who did it, but I was really upset about that because I was expecting that money to be there and it wasn't. And there's several people, family, that says it never happened, but they didn't know nothing about it. Of course, they don't know nothing about it, you know. But the money wasn't there, and I was on a major guilt trip about my brother got shot up twice in Vietnam, and I had a friend, a real close friend, while I was in the Army, and he stayed in, and he went to Vietnam, and he was killed. I was feeling real guilty about that. Then another guy I knew up in the mountains, Terry Cochran, he was killed. He was a friend of mine. Matter of fact, me and him dug graves together up at the Church House Cemetery. When people died, we dug the graves. And he went to Vietnam and he was killed. I was really feeling bad about all that, and I wasn't doing nothing really mean or anything, but I was just going off the deep end. And I got picked up for getting into it, which I can't remember who it was, and I got thrown in jail. And then they found me. I went to court, and they found me incompetent. And the next thing I knew, I was being sent to Chattahoochee, Florida, with charges like simple assault or something like that. But they committed me to the state hospital, and I was in the state hospital for a few months. This was before I got married. And I was just out of it, and I went through hell in that hospital. They put me on something called Thorazine. I didn't have no business there. And of course, that's what all of them say that goes to that place. And then back then they were giving these shock treatments, and I got a couple of those, and those just pretty much turn you into a zombie for sometimes weeks. I got 2 of those shock treatments. And then they sent me to a staff meeting. That's where all the psychiatrists in that hospital sit around a table, and you're down at one end, and they start talking to you. And nothing was decided then. I was to stay in the hospital. They could keep me there for the rest of my life if they wanted to. And when that, and there was a new doctor at the hospital. His name was Dr. Chacon, and I think he was from Argentina. And he had them bring me to his office. And the first thing he said to me, he said, "Russell, what in the world are you doing here? How did you get here?" And I explained to him and all that. So the next thing I knew, he had signed a release, a thing for me to be released. And since I had that charge from Duval County, which was a simple assault charge, wasn't a big thing. And because they had to come pick me up at the hospital and take me back to Duval County and put me before the judge. But they dismissed the charge, so I never did go back to Jacksonville. And they released me after putting me through all that. And I hate to say it, but I think the biggest part of my problem was my family. And I got away from them, period. I never seen them again for about 10 years. That's when I went up to North Carolina and married my wife. And I never seen them again for just a lot of years. And I should have kept it that way, because every time I turned around with my family, I was getting screwed over by something. And one of them was I'll just say it was more than $100,000 that I got screwed out of by family. But anyway, this woman sent me an email, and she acted offended that I put that in that video. I don't know. Anyway, she unsubscribed to me, and she says after that, I don't know if I want to even know you or not, stuff like that. So that just it bothers me, but she's got to do what she wants to do. So anyway, and if anybody else is offended by it or something, I don't know what they would be offended by, but I apologize. So anyway, I'm going to put that to bed, to rest. I went out there today and I went and got, I think I got 40 azalea cuttings that I've already got them in some rooting solution and everything. I'm already going to do that. My plan is that I didn't start this nursery thing to try and sell something, but it's they're easy to do, and and you can sell them, especially along about this coming February or March. You can sell them, and I can have, if I can have a couple of hundred in little pots sitting over there beside the house or something, I can run them things on Craigslist and sell them. I used to do that. So why not do it, you know? It just depends on how big they get and all that stuff, you know, according to how much I can get for them. But that's kind of the plan now. But I'm gonna do it with the azaleas. I'm gonna do it with the crepe myrtles and some ligustrums and some pittosporums and some variegated pittosporums. So, hey, Cindy with a Y. See what I got from Crazy Fan. Oh, you got an RC? Okay, yeah, you did, didn't you? Brienne's making dinner. That girl cooks a lot. She cooks a lot. Hey, Terry and Angie. Who have I missed so far? Yeah, I got this apron from. I got to take that off now. Let me take that off. Can you see it? That's my apron. Oh, and it came with a $20 bill. It came with a $20 bill. Yeah, that stuck in there with a note. I never know what he's sending me. I don't hardly ever see him. I can't remember the last time I've seen him on here, like on my live streams. But oh, and thanks for that comment, Sandy. I appreciate it. But yeah, Amy, that mug. I love that mug. I must have put it back in the drawer. I'm afraid to leave it out. I'm afraid my cat's gonna knock it off or something. They got up here last night and spilt. I had a cup of coffee sitting here, but it had the lid on it, but it still leaks some. I'm lucky it didn't get into my keyboard. And I know which one of it's Diamond that's doing it. Mr. Diamond. But by the way, Crazy Family, are y'all having a live stream tonight? I'd like to know. And Rianne, what are you cooking for dinner? I think she made shit last time on. I think she made barbecue. Was it barbecued chicken? It was some kind of chicken. You too, Sandy. God bless you back. Oh, that's neat, Lisa. Spaghetti. She's making spaghetti. Her neighbor sets up items he grows in his garden with a can next to it. You take what you need and give what you can. I'm assuming that would be vegetables. I know some other places like that. I know where there used to be a vegetable stand and they grew their stuff. and they never had nobody out there sitting on the side of the road with it. You just go up there and get what you got, prices on everything, and it's pay what you can. And it's a big old bucket over there. I don't know if people come up there and stole anything from them or not. But they never had anybody working the stand unless you caught them when they was bringing stuff out there. And they brought a lot of vegetables out there. A lot of vegetables. And have a little sip of coffee. I am having, I'm doing a couple, somebody's told me I ought to do a video that was more informative, precise about the system I made to oxygenate my cuttings and stuff. And so I'm making one. I may put it up. No, it won't go up tomorrow. It'll probably go up Monday. But it's how to make one for less than $15. That's counting the cost of the little air pump, the tubing, and the container. And the container is free because everybody gets these. And it will, if I got one sitting here, yep, sure do. Everybody gets these. So don't throw it out. It's free. I'll show you how to make the holes, the whole 9 yards, and I'm going to do it from start to finish, even putting cuttings in it. I don't know why I need to make it. It's so simple, but maybe I'm probably going to have to make, I've got more cuttings right now than I've got space to aerate these, to oxygenate these things. I've probably got over 100 cuttings right now. My daughter said, she hit the nail on the head. She said, you ain't going to sit there and do this thing small for just a hobby. Said, every time you start something, you got to do it. You got to go whole hog. And I guess I'm going whole hog. I just don't have space. I don't have space. And I keep finding these plants. I don't know if they're weeds. I don't know. I think they're beautiful. And it was in one of the leaves on them things is round, and they're big. They're big. They're as big around as the bottom of that bottle. That's my ibuprofen. I'm not taking so much of that anymore. But I've got, and each place there's it's on a long route underground. And it's all connected, and each place where there's one of them leaves coming up and going up out of the ground, it's hooked to roots down there on that runner that's under the ground. So I don't know what it is, but they're big. They're bigger than a silver dollar. So I'm going to try to. I'm not having any success with the strawberry runners. They all died except 2 or 3. So I got a little system I used to do on my strawberries. When them runners come off, are y'all really interested in here? Amy Hoosier gotta go having a live sale on my YouTube channel. Oh, dang, I got to go check your channel out. Yes, I do. Yeah, I enjoy it. And people say I talk the horns off a billy goat and stuff like that. And But the other day, I took my grandson out with me, and you might have noticed in that video that all of a sudden he wasn't there no more. And what had happened, he come up there crying. He fell down. Oh my gosh, and it hurts me just to even think about it. The baby skinned a knee, and then he skinned a big long place on his shin, and he took off running home to get his mama. And I wish he would let me help him. You know, a couple nights ago, my daughter was at work. He called her up about 2 o'clock in the morning, and his leg was really hurting and everything. But I wish he'd have come and got. I mean, he could call her too, but gosh, let me know. He doesn't come to me for stuff anymore, and it just kills me. That he won't. You know, I didn't know nothing about it till the next morning. I got up, and Jennifer come walking in here, and I said, "What time did you get in?" I thought she'd just come in, and she said 1 o'clock. And then she was telling me about Jay having to call her because he was in pain. You apologize for not being on as much. We had an emergency in the family. Those emergencies happen, Lisa. They really do. It's just cold, hard facts of life. And the problem is we don't know when those emergencies is going to come up, and sometimes you just got to leave everybody flat, maybe wondering what's going on, but at least you come back and kind of explain it. Just things happen. I seen somebody, I think they were already dead when I seen them. It was an accident out here on the highway, and that main road you see me on a lot. I don't know if it was more than one killed in it or not, but usually when you see an accident like that and the cars are all mangled up and they got a sheet of some kind covering the person in the car, and they're not working on the car trying to get them out, it probably means they're dead. It bothers me so much to see stuff like that, and it just takes me back to when I come up on that accident my son was killed in, and I wanted to go over there to see. And you know what? If I'd have known what they was doing in the back of that van, I didn't know that if somebody gets killed like that, and there's not a family member sitting there saying no, they were taking his corneas without saying no. I was there about 30 minutes after it happened. I didn't know it had happened when I come up on it. I come up on it and it was there. Then I knew something bad was wrong. But I didn't know they could do that. I was really pissed off that they was taking my baby's corneas. Now, if without getting permission, that's what bugged me. I don't mind them taking them, because I'm an organ donor myself, but I think he had too much internal damage for them to want to take organs from him, because he was headed about 60 miles an hour. The bus run into the side of the car that he was in, and it hit on the side. He was the passenger side, and 60 miles. When you're sitting dead still, and all of a sudden you're going 60 miles an hour just that quick, your insides can't take it. You know, he had torn aortas and all that stuff. You know, your insides can't take it. Well, he was 14. He didn't have no driver's license, but it just pissed me off that they can do that if there's no family there. Take the corneas. I don't know about organ transplant, but it took me to. Anyway, stuff happens, cold hard facts of life, and it's going to happen. And you know, you just never know. You know, I might be here till I'm 100. I don't know. You don't know. But stuff happens. Stuff is going to happen. I don't like it, but I'm okay with. I have to be okay with it. And I got. When I croak, when I die, when I pass away, there's a piece I've already made that'll play on my channel. For me personally. And by the way, I say I don't get into religion, but I was thinking about something the other day. And people will say, like my niece posted a message on YouTube that Mama passed away this morning, and she went to be with the Lord and stuff like that. You know, like she's already there. She's in a better place now. But then there's another saying that when you die, you go in the grave and you lay there. And then when Jesus or the Lord comes again, all the dead in Christ shall rise. That's confusing. Anyway, that's the end of that. I ain't discussing religion. It's just something that crossed my mind the other day. Anyway, this is not allowed in our state unless they have a verified driver's license. But and I found out my chief of section, my sergeant, Charlie Lofton, he was a black man, and he's the one run up beside me when I flipped the water trailer. We was caught when the Berlin Wall went up in Germany. When the Berlin Wall went up, we was put on alert and all this stuff. We didn't know what was going on, and I was a driver for the arms room. In other words, me and my sergeant, we was in charge of getting all the small weapons and machine guns and all that stuff put on this deuce and a half. And we had to hook up to a water trailer. And we was going up the alert area, and the alert area was up on top of a mountain, and the road was rough. This was in Germany. And I was going up there, and that water trailer was bouncing around, but it was full of water. And them hooks was round like this, and they swiveled. And I flipped that water trailer over. And the road was so rough, I didn't even know it had flipped over, and I was dragging that thing up the mountain. And my sergeant, he come running up beside me, and I was still driving, it was slow, it couldn't go fast. He's going up, Pearson, you're the dumbest white man I know. Oh, Lord have mercy. That's what he called me. I'm the dumbest white man he ever knew. Oh my God! But demolish the top of that trailer, and of course there's no order, and the water doesn't come out of there. But he was behind us when I flipped that thing. Hey, Cupcake Girl. But yeah, that was yeah, that was he he never would. He didn't want me being the NCO, non-commissioned officer. That's why I got promoted to specialist rank. I wasn't in charge of no men. I was just a specialist in what I did. And I was an ammo specialist, and I got promoted to Spec 4, which is equivalent to a corporal, but in pay rank and everything. But I just wasn't in charge of like different men and stuff. I eventually wound up with Spec 5, which was like a buck sergeant pay rank. Excuse me. Anyhow, I guess, did they ever say whether they're having a live stream tonight? I get, Brianna, y'all have, how's my thing not moving? Am I still live? Am I live, folks? It hadn't moved. Hasn't moved. Am I talking to myself? Hey, Naparuski. I had 3 naps today. I appreciate it. I'm still alive. I'm doing all right. I looks like I require about 3 naps a day now. Maybe I ought to be Naparuski too. Oh my goodness. I sure, that time when that Berlin Wall went up in Germany, it was several days before we actually knew what happened. We didn't know, but when something's going on, politically or whatever, they call an alert. And we have this area that we take all of our equipment, all of our guns, and the howitzers and all that stuff goes up top of the mountain with us. The other day was here. I don't know which video you're talking about, Naparuski. Yeah, we round down. We round down. Anyhow, I think I've about covered everything I wanted to cover today. I'm still missing Mary Beth Harley ever coming on, and ever since her brother passed away. Granny Doe, I haven't seen her in a while. Um, but yeah, Napruski, I'm doing okay. I'm not sure which one you're talking about. The video you were talking about the story of the bonds you got. Oh, yeah, yeah. Every month they would take a $37.50 out of my pay, and they always paid in cash. So I don't know how they did that, but I got my pay less than $35.50, and that went to a $75 savings bond, which means in 7 years it's worth $75, which is good interest, boys. And when I got out of the ship, matter of fact, had I known at the time that money wasn't there when I was going to get home, I don't think I would have took a discharge. I think I would have re-enlisted. I think I would have re-enlisted. But there were several years worth of them bonds every month. Every month that would come out. And you know, back then, when I first went in the Army in 1959, the a month's pay was $65. Oh boy. And then as I progressed a little bit in pay grades and rank, it got up to 100 and when it got up to 120, I thought I was in high cotton. But then it got up to, I was trying to remember what I was getting when I took my discharge. I was making about $250 or $40 a month, and about a re-enlisted, I would have got a re-enlistment. But my first time I re-enlisted, I only got a $620 bonus. But the second time when they wanted me to re-enlist again, went ahead and re-enlisted. I would have got about $1,500, and that was not bad back then. Now you re-enlist now, it's in the thousands. I'll see you now, Napruski. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it so much. But anyhow, I didn't re-enlist. I felt guilty. I still feel guilty about it, especially when I had people die. You know, my brother got shot up, and then a friend of mine in the Army stayed in, and he died almost within a month after he got to Vietnam, was killed. And then that kid that I dug graves with up in North Carolina, his name was Terry Cochran. I'm not sure how he died, but I know he died. And I almost felt obligated to go up there and help dig his grave. He's buried up there in that same cemetery where me and him dug graves. Am I still drinking? I'm drinking coffee. I'm drinking coffee. Barbara, how's hubby? Barbara the redhead. All right, guys. I'm out of steam. I got a headache. I've still got to go out there and put everything to bed out on the deck before it gets dark. Of course, that don't get dark here now till about 7 o'clock. Maybe later than that. He's napping. Okay. All right, guys. I think. Oh man, I wonder if I'm still getting headaches because I'm not drinking as much coffee, or is it because of them? Oh, because of those. Uh, I just get the dang shots, the vaccine, the COVID vaccine that I got. Some people say that could cause headache, but that sometimes some of them says it could linger on for a couple of months. I don't know, but guys, and Ricky, if you're watching this, my friend, appreciate I appreciate the. You know what? I better get that out of there. I could. Don't tell me I already lost it. Oh, there it is. Better be. Yeah. Don't want to lose that. That's the first actual cash that I've had in my hands in a while. Everything's done on the card now, and I very rarely get any cash on them again. I know exactly what I'm going to do with that. I think anyway. If that bar is if it's back open, I want to go in there and sit at the counter and have a cold draft beer. But the owner died, and I don't know if it's the same. I know that bar's been there for over 50 years. So I don't know if it's going to open back up or not. But I just want to go in there and sit at the counter and have a cold draft. And my daughter, she went and bought me a big old can of Miller, and it's sitting in there in the refrigerator. But there's a difference in me sitting here sucking on a beer. And I try to drink at least one beer a year. Supposedly it helps my kidneys, and ever since I started drinking that beer once a year like that, I haven't had any kidney stones, and I was famous for getting kidney stones. And and the last kidney stone I had, it was killing me. And I was at my brother's funeral here in Ocala. I was in charge of his funeral and everything. And this is my brother, the one that was wounded in Vietnam a couple of times. And I had to go to the bathroom. I couldn't pass water, and it was just really killing me. And I went to the bathroom, and all of a sudden I passed that stone. I heard it when it hit the water. I was so relieved, and when I come back out of the bathroom, I was smiling, and everybody thought I had lost my mind. Hey, there's Ben Tab. There's Fantab. I didn't see. Hey, bestie. I was talking about you a while ago. How you doing, dear? Wait a minute. Wait a minute, Barb. Are you saying your husband passed away? You said he never woke up. Um, Cold hard fact. No, a friend. Oh, okay. He went to sleep, never woke up. Um, like a hair and a biscuit. Oh my goodness. Like I said a while ago, Lisa, it's cold hard facts of life. It's just stuff happens. You never know when or where. And I sometimes I wish I knew when my day would come, but then again, no, I don't. And I hope when it does come that I just go to sleep and don't wake up. That's a nice peaceful way to go. I don't want to be like sick and all that stuff. Yeah, Mary Beth, we love you, dear. Um, but I was drinking 4 cups of coffee and a day, and now I'm only drinking two. They're big cups. They're this cup right here, and y'all know who sent me this. It's got beat up pretty good. Matter of fact, that time I was going down the street on my scooter, and I cut too sharp real quick, and my scooter flipped over, and my cup here went, it's got a dent in it where it hit the pavement and went rolling. Scared that lady to death. She wasn't her fault. It was my fault. She didn't hit me, but she was scared, and turns out she was a sister to the lady that had the yard sales all the time, Lauren, and I went to Lauren's that day for something, and she said, "I hear you met my sister." Yeah, I met her. It sure wasn't her fault though. It sure won't. But I guess I'm gonna. Man, I've had 3 naps today. Matter of fact, I got up at 5 and I went back to bed at 7. Got up at 9, and then I went back to bed again at around 2. So I've had 3 naps today. And one thing I have done, I've really cut way back on what I'm eating. I'm not changed what I'm eating, but I'm just not. You can't watch that. Oh, but so I'm probably gonna. I'm starting slowly to get back to going to bed around 12 o'clock. If I could just do that, I would do that. I would go to bed earlier and I could go to sleep. But the problem is I can't sleep through the night because after I'm laying in the bed about 3 hours, my feet, my ankles start hurting. And it's pain, and I don't know if it's neuropathy. I don't know what it is. If I could sleep the night through, I would love it. I would go to bed early, but I can't sleep tonight. And if I go to bed, like if I went to bed tonight at 9 o'clock, I would be up at 12. So that's why I just wait till 12 or 1, you know. There for a while, I was waiting till 3 o'clock. I have been waiting 4 days for my new sleep meds. And by the way, does anybody know what, you know, I'm now getting all my meds straight from the VA. And the insulin I've been taking is these Levemir pens. You know, you set the dial and then you push the button and it shoots the stuff. And there's like about 6 doses in one of these. Well, they sent me my insulin, but it's not in pens. It's them little bottles, and I have to fill these hypodermic needles. And the hypodermic needles only holds 30 units. My dose is 50 units in the morning and 45 units in the evening. And I have a lot. I just tried to fill one. I'm not out of my Levemir yet, but I just tried the other day to fill one of them pens or one of those needles. And I couldn't get it done. I bent it all out of shape and everything. And then I got another, and I tried to fill another, and I got it filled up to 30 units, and I give myself a shot of that. And I didn't want to fool with it no more, so I didn't get another needle and fill it up with 15 units. So now my baby grandson, he knows he can do that. And I'm thinking maybe once a week I'll go in there and fill up 7 needles with 30 units and 7 needles with 15 units. And then put them in the refrigerator and maybe get my daughter or my grandson to fill them, because I can't do it. And the doctor had put me on 400 milligrams of gabapentin 3 times a day. Now, the prescription they sent me is 300 milligrams twice a day. So I don't know about that, and I won't see him again for 2 or 3 months. But I was going to ask does anybody know what this pill here is? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, okay. It's Alloglip. It's Alogliptin. 25 milligram tabs. Okay, wait a minute. Is that? No, that's. Says it replaces SITAGLIPTAN. I don't know what that is. But I had to start getting my meds from the VA because every time I turned around, they're raising my copay. And I've been having to let some meds go because I couldn't afford the copays, and there for a long time I never had any copays on anything. Now I was paying a copay on Januvia. I was paying copay on my Levemir pens. I was paying, I can't remember, there's about 5 there that I was having to make copay on. So I just stopped going to the drugstore. And they're sitting over there now. They got a bunch of prescriptions filled for me, and they've been calling. I'm not going. I don't need them. I got this other stuff here. I wouldn't mind having the gabapentin. I might ask them how much copay is on that. Well, I ain't gonna take gabapentin for doctors telling me not to take it or not to. I would like to have the gabapentin though. Because I was supposed to be taking 300 milligrams 3 times a day. Google thing. I keep forgetting I can Google that stuff. I got an excuse. I'm 80. Oh my gosh. Okay, guys, I've been yapping over an hour, so I'm going to cut this short. And folks, still remember, I'm looking for dirt. Nobody sent me any dirt lately. I want dirt from every state. And my address is in my About Me thing on my channel page. Yeah, I tell you what, when I was in the military, it never even crossed my mind that I would have VA care for the rest of my life if I wanted it. And I see these people going in there and, well, I can't get this one this month. I have to get this one. And I've never really had that problem till just lately when my copay started all of a sudden going up and everything. But I don't see how people make it. And my daughter's got the same thing. She's having to do without meds on certain things. The copay is so much. Now there is no ow, my goodness. Hurt, you sucker. I don't care. Oh, Lord, when them pains hit like that, I'm glad they only just last a few seconds. Oh boy, that was a sharp one. That was in my little toes on my. All I've got is little toes on my right foot. I had my big toe amputated. But anyway, and but I don't feel like. I mean, that military, it was a job, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And people say now, thank you for your service and all that stuff. And I can remember back in the Vietnam days when guys was coming home for discharge and stuff, and people were spitting on them and all. And that happened. They were spitting on them. They were nasty to them soldiers. And them soldiers didn't have a choice about that. Most of them were drafted. They didn't have a choice, and you've got to go. It's either do that or be court-martialed. But people that line up out there and spit on them. And now, everywhere you look, thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. You know, why didn't you thank me in the Vietnam years? You know, stuff that comes back. But by gosh, if it wasn't for the veterans, you wouldn't have what you got today, or have a place to live like you got today, if it wasn't for the veterans getting that living and dying, and just awful what they had to go through. And then there were some of them like my brother, and I don't know why in the world that boy, he was my youngest whole brother, went to join the Army. And the reason he joined the Army, he was kind of a juvenile delinquent. He wasn't really doing bad stuff, but he had to go before a judge, and the judge told him, this is where you're going, or you can join the Army. He joined the Army, and Mama had to sign for him. He was 17. And after basic and his second 8 weeks training and everything, they shipped him out to Vietnam. The day his plane landed, I don't know if it was in Hanoi, I don't remember where it was at, but the day his plane landed, they was coming off the plane, walking down the steps, and the airfield come under a mortar attack. And he had no longer touched his foot to the ground. A mortar landed close by, and he got shrapnel. He got wounded shrapnel right in his butt. And they had to ship him out back right then to Hawaii. And then somehow or another, doing good, Wilbur, Isabel, they realized he was only 17, and they wasn't sending 17-year-olds into combat. So he stayed in Hawaii on R&R till he turned 18. Then they sent him back to Vietnam, and he was wounded again a couple of months later. Went back to Hawaii on R&R, which is rest and recreation, and he healed up, went back to Vietnam, did his 3-year hitch, and he was discharged, and then he re-enlisted and wanted to go back to Vietnam. I have never figured that out. But he went back to Vietnam and did, I think it was a year or something like that. Then they shipped him back to the States, and then they shipped him from the States to Germany. And I'm not sure about the timeline after that. But he was messed up from Vietnam. He was really messed up. He was drawing some kind of service-connected disability. I'm not sure what it was. Anyway, and I had all my brothers. After he died, his son come up to me at the funeral thing, and he had this little folder thing, and he opened it up, and it had all of Joe's, his Purple Hearts, all of his different ribbons and medals, and there was like 7 or 8 of them. And he said, I thought you might like to have these. And he gave them to me, and I've never understood why he would give them to me. And I had them, and we had packed a lot of stuff away out in I had a building out behind my house that was more secure than our house as far as hurricanes is concerned. And I never brought them back into the house. I was going to, but I never brought them back in. And the dadgone building that I had all that stuff stored in caught on fire and burned everything. It burned my baby pictures from when I was 6 months. Oh, wow. Ooh. Oh. Okay, guys, I've run I know we aren't supposed to be political, but just let me say thanks to our government. Well, that's not really political. I mean, if we didn't have the government, we'd be a sad lot. But I'll say this, and I'm not saying this just because I haven't got a stimulus check or anything, but all this money that they're spending on all these different things and everything, the government don't have that money. They have to raise the national debt limit and print more money. And at some point, I don't know when it'll be. It may be soon, it may be a long time off. Everything's going to come to a head on all that debt. And the dollar ain't going to be worth squat. That's my thoughts anyway. That's enough on politics and everything. And I do support the police. And there's always a bad apple somewhere, but I support the police. The first thing, if something happens, something goes wrong, that's the first one you call. But anyway, I've been talking over an hour now. All right, guys. Man, have I took my meds today? I have to look at I think I have. Oh, Lord, yeah, I took them there. Yeah, I've already took my evening meds. Oh, Mary Beth, did you see my apron? Did you see my apron, dear? Let me show you my apron. Oh man, let me show you my apron. Ricky Lance sent me this. See that? I never know what that man's gonna send me. Her daughter must be working in some kind of business or something that does that, because she's made me a T-shirt with Junk Garber on it. That's the one with the survivor thing on it. We have a bad orchard up in Washington. Yeah. Okay. And he sent, and there was a $20 bill come with that thing and a nice sweet note. He's in upstate New York, and I have dirt from his area up there. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I need to check, make sure Crazy Family's not having a live stream. But anyway, and I'm still saying it, even if I had known that I was going to have a real bad reaction to that second COVID shot vaccine, I would have still took the shot. I'll do everything I can to keep from ever getting that stuff again. Yes, I did, Fantab. I had to think a minute. I'm pretty sure I did. I'll have to go back and look now. My memory ain't all that sharp. But, guys, I'm going to get out of here, and I'll see you in the next one. And I may start slowing down a little bit on my video. I've been trying to put one up every day, but I do one every day, but if it don't seem like it'd be that interesting, I might not put it up. But anyhow, see you in the next one. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. You know what? I didn't see Willow on here today. It just occurred to me. I didn't see Willow. And there's probably some others. See ya.